Now, when doing your light settings, the first thing to look at is what your photo period is. So I really want a maximum of 12 hours light. A lot of the time 10 hours is fine. So when you're doing your light settings, because a lot of your lights these days are very fancy with your ability to set them. And I go online and I find these unbelievably ridiculous suggestions where people go, this is the best light for a particular coral. And I have no doubt that that particular person had success with that funky light setting that they've got. But basically, I've seen settings where colours are coming up and down and going all over the place, but I will try to emulate nature as much as possible. So the very basic of light in nature is in the morning the sun comes up and most of your light's reflected. Only really blue penetrates. Then in the middle of the day, you get very good penetration. All the colours will penetrate quite well. And depending on the depth, because you'll lose a lot of colours very quickly, but it's just the middle of the day, you get very good light penetration. Then the sun goes over in the afternoon. Then once again, you're losing almost all your colours again. So some colours are less important than others. For example, red, that's pretty much gone after 3 meters, depending on the time of the day. But the way that I'll set my light settings is I will do something like this. So I'll have the blue slowly ramp up till it gets to 100% and slowly ramp down again. Then I'll have my sort of white channel sort of go up slowly. I'll give it a peak up around 100 and then I'll sort of slowly ramp it off again. And that's the area where it looks really good. But for intensity, I like to just still have a couple of hours in the middle of the day where I've got good intensity. So that's one option, and this is another sort of option. So where you're really not focusing on as much of the white, but once again, this sort of idea, this funky light settings I see on the computer where one goes up and the other one goes up and down and all that sort of stuff. I have no doubt that that particular person found it worked, but I think those settings are a bit more of a trademark. People like having them copy them. But this is the way I really like my light settings. And they look like boobs.